It is here! The review of this movie. Finally. It is the end of March and April has actually begun. That is actually crazy. But we are here in this podcast of Mark45 episode to finally discuss the long-awaited MonsterVerse movie that has broken box office records, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Now, just like Godzilla vs. Kong, this movie has given me tremendous exposure and a little bit of moolah off the channel. And so, I am going on a big break after this. So, by the time you're watching this episode, we should have our second guest episode out. And then we will be ending with this for now. Because I need a break. Not only from the MonsterVerse, but from working on videos like this in general. So, we're going to end off with hopefully what is going to be a big bang, and we have loads of content planned for this episode, as you can quite evidently see on this table. Brandon over there is looking immaculate. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be discussing about the movie, spoilers and non-spoilers, of course, and then we're going to also be talking about, just the whole context around the movie, its creation, all that. And then we have a shit ton of merch to show off, as you can quite see, including all these Playmates figures that I've been doing on my main channel, as well as the Jada Toys figures, as well as the Funko Pops, and most importantly, the theater merch. This is the first time in me going to theater history that I dropped too much money on merch. I'm usually there for the movie and some popcorn. This has taken to a whole new level. Anyways, yeah, before we get started, anything you want to say, Mr. Godzilla? What about you, Santos?
Roar.
This is going to be one long episode, is it? Alright. So, what shall we do first? I guess we're going to talk about our overall thoughts, the review, the non-spoiler review, I guess. Well, obviously, we'll have timestamps included throughout this episode, so you can, break it down section by section. So, right now, we are going to start with the non-spoiler review. Now, before we get started, let me just say something. Let me make something clear to all the critics and those type of people out there who saw this movie. Do not compare it to Godzilla -1. The second I hear anyone say, yeah, but this is not Godzilla -1, instantly your opinion becomes irrelevant. Because number one, Godzilla -1 is a fantastic movie, but it is a completely different genre from this Godzilla that we have here. This movie is about the CGI monster mash action fun, and it's honestly about having a great time watching monsters fight. That is what this movie is about. Godzilla -1 is a Toho-based film, actually focusing on the consequences of World War II and using Godzilla as the metaphor to destroy nature. So, -1 is great. I love the movie. I watched it. It is fantastic. I watched it in debug. So yes, I am not being biased. It is a great movie. But the second I hear anyone compare this movie to Godzilla -1, get the hell out of here. It won an Oscar, so congratulations to Yamazaki, who directed the movie. This movie's not by Yamazaki, but they did release a video where Yamazaki did sit down with this movie's director, Adam Wingard, to talk about their love for Godzilla. And I'm going to make this very clear. If you want to see us do a -1 reaction, maybe we'll do it. That depends if they actually decide to release on digital, because as of now, that movie is non-existent. It's left the theaters, and they have zero announcements for digital release, so we don't even know when -1 will even hit digital. So, anyways, that is my rant about this stupid critic comparison bullshit thing. So now we can talk about this movie.
The fights are good. They're, I don't know, I wouldn't say realistic, but lots of action. The human part's okay. It's just I wouldn't say it's filler, but it's all right. I like the new gauntlet thing that Kong has.
The Beast Glove.
Yeah. As like what was the purple Godzilla called?
Just Godzilla Evolved.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's all right, but he just gains that power from like. Oh, I can't say that. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Okay, well, what do you think of Pink Godzilla as a whole? Because this is, of course,
just a new color scheme.
You think it's a gimmick to sell toys?
Yeah.
Because this is inspired off Millennium Godzilla, who is more on the magenta side back then. So this is, I guess, not the first time they've done a Pink Godzilla, but this is with modern CGI. So I guess that's something. Out of 10, what is your score on this movie?
7.
7 out of 10. And would you recommend any non-monster fans to watch it who just want to see a cool movie?
Yeah, if they like action scenes.
Okay, there you go. All right, your turn, Mr. Godzilla. This guy's gonna break the mic sound barrier, I swear.
Alright, what's going on? Is my hair looking?
What was your experience watching this movie, Brandon?
Not bad. There was a lot more monster scenes in the movie than like some of the previous ones. They felt like they're good, like a decent amount of fights, but a lot of them felt like you already knew the outcome, so it was kind of boring. Like I can't say the specific fights, but a lot of the like Godzilla fighting someone and then Kong fighting someone, but you already know who's gonna win. The writing was like mediocre. The action's pretty good. There were some funny moves in there that.
We'll get more into that. I want to talk about them too.
Overall, I will give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. So, this is the same director who did Godzilla vs. Kong. So, do you think he has improved? Adam, if you're listening, no hate, nothing personal, okay?
I think this one's better, like a little bit better, because I don't know, like the previous movie, it was just less engaging. It felt like Godzilla was gonna win. Like I already kind of knew the outcome just watching like the movie.
I mean, you had a spot-on prediction that they would take Ghidorah's skull and make Mechagodzilla, and he would be the ultimate villain they had to team up against. So that was quite a revolution. My thoughts on the movie, I mean, I had a fun time with it. Look, it's not a perfect movie, I will say, despite on the amount of exposure I've given it. But I will be genuine and say that it's not the perfect movie, but it was definitely a blast. It was very fun and very engaging. Look, -1 was great because of the narrative. This movie isn't about the narrative, and this is a teeny tiny spoilers, nothing too bad. It's mainly a Kong movie, so that should already give you a good little perception on that. Like this, it's very different from -1, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit bored watching that movie, but I thought it was good. This one, however, fully engaged the entire time. Well, they had some boring moments, I wouldn't say boring. I just watched him and I was like, meh, it's whatever. But the CGI monster fights, oh man, they absolutely deliver. This is the modern day Showa era movie with modern CGI. Seriously, the Monsterverse is in their Showa era, and I am all for it. You know, like as a little kid, when you take these big action figures and you just imagine these scenarios and you just watch them fight, like this is like what a little kid's lore is going on in his head. This is like honestly a movie you just sit there, you turn your brain off, you look at the screen and you go, let's go, let's get it. I had a few of those moments. obviously I can't get into which moments because that'll be spoiling, but it is definitely, I would say, the most fun I've had in watching MonsterVerse movies in a while. Because I would say Godzilla vs. Kong was very good, but this movie was definitely, I think, 75% fighting and action, 25% narrative. So I would say out of 10, I'd give it a 9 as well. Look, as I said, it's not the perfect movie. There were some bits I didn't like, and I will get into that. I will elaborate a bit. But overall, I had a great time watching this movie. So, we watched it in IMAX. That was because I won the IMAX screenings. But this movie was heavily marketed with IMAX. Even like they did so many interviews where the directors like they asked the director, "Oh, why should you watch this movie in IMAX?" And I guess it made sense because they shot the movie with IMAX cameras. Well, at least I would assume the human bits, because I don't think the monster bits were shot with IMAX cameras. It's mostly CGI. So this was the first time these two stepped into an IMAX movie experience. So, what did you think of it?
The sound is louder than usual, but it's fine. The visuals, I don't know if it's just my eyes, but it's a little on the blurry side.
Honestly, I need to see the movie without IMAX to make a good comparison, because it's been a while. It's been a while since the last movie we watched too, like
Kung Fu Panda.
Yes, Kung Fu
That was
Panda
a couple
4.
weeks ago.
It's been too long to make an accurate comparison, so I can't really say too much, but it is loud, like Santo said. I didn't really see the blurriness because I didn't really look too hard at the screen, but
It might just be the projector.
could be. There was a part where I can't really say, but they're basically the screen's flashing a lot, so like epilepsy warnings, seizure warnings.
I mean, the theater we were in was also, with the bigger screen sacrifices leg room, because the seats were quite tight.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, the screen may have been brighter, and then some of the parts like might make it harder on your eyes, especially if you have sensitive eyes, stuff like that.
So I would say, not just as IMAX, but the movie in general, if you've got sensitive, like if you're insensitive to motion sickness and loud sound, this movie might not do it, because there are many shots where the camera's like rotating like this. So yeah, I would say, yeah, you may find it a bit of a difficult watch if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff. But the last IMAX movie I saw was in 2017 with the Solo movie, the Han Solo movie. So it's been a long time. I don't remember what it was like, but I do know like the screen is definitely bigger. I do think the loud sound is, I guess it does make the movie experience cooler. I mean, if you've been to a music concert, they are also quite loud. But I would recommend anyone who wants to definitely see this movie in IMAX, because I can see that they've made this movie to be watched in that format. With the way they've designed the shots and the visuals, it definitely would look the best on an IMAX screen, I would say. But would you guys recommend it?
If you like loud sounds.
So it's just about the sounds for you.
No, if you like the aspect ratio.
If you like to feel more immersed a little bit, then yes, it kind of does do that. If you want like the full immersion, there's IMAX 3D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want the full immersion, go like IMAX 3D.
I wonder what format the critics watched it in. That made them hate the movie.
In 480p.
Maybe that could be why. So yeah. Overall, also, I'll say this. I'll include this because it's not really spoiling. The movie did feel a bit fast-paced, a bit too fast-paced at some points. I would say as cool as like as cool as some of the fighting was, they did happen in the blink of an eye, and I would definitely like to see more of it. Like the fighting, chef's kiss, beautiful, but at some points it did feel like they were going by a little too quickly, and I'm like, wait, what just happened? And I had to like dial back and think like. I'll say especially near the final battle, the third act. It's one long sequence, but it feels like it went by really quickly. I do feel like the Hong Kong fight was more stretched out and it actually felt longer. This movie's final fight was like it's long, but it also felt like it went by pretty quickly. But when the monsters do fight on screen, oh my god, it is a visual spectacle. It is amazing. Like, I would say some of the highest quality monster fights we've gotten as of up to date. Like, I know some people like the grounded horror, almost like sense of scale kind of feel. I guess that's what King of Monsters try to do. They try to do a human POV of the fights. But then that got really annoying because it kept cutting to the humans. They're like, I don't care about the humans. I want to see the monsters fight. So I guess this movie is just more like, here are all the monsters fighting in full 4K, no human interference. Just watch them fight. But I understand CGI is expensive. Maybe like this movie was the cheapest MonsterVerse movie up to date. It only costed $135 million compared to the other films. So I guess most of the money was spent on, I guess, the CGI visuals. But it would be nice if the fights were extended a bit. At least that's what I think. Like, as great as they were, they could have been longer.
I didn't really pay too much about the pacing. I like how the other Scar King has like another type of weapon, like a whip. Mm-hmm. So it adds like he has an advantage over Kong using the axe.
They were good, but some of them were just funny, like over the top sort of thing. Like compared to like the first Godzilla movie,
where the first one where he fights the Mutos.
Yeah, like the first couple movies, the monsters actually seem scary. Now our senses have been dulled, and they seem just like normal. Like if you look at God, like in Hollow Earth, it's not too much of a spoiler, but in Hollow Earth, when you see like Kong and Sumo seems really tiny, right?
Wait, Suko.
Suko?
Yes.
Suko. Wrong name. Suko seems really tiny. And then, can I say that they went?
Well, I think the trailer showed the trailer showed the real fight,
Yeah,
the battle in Rio.
At some point, they do reach the surface, and Suko looks humongous compared to the building still.
Apparently, his size is bigger than Kong's size in Kong Skull Island. So Kong was pretty small in Kong Skull Island.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that.
And Suko was bigger than that size.
That doesn't seem right. The size is kind of throwing me off. But like when they're in Hollow Earth, they seem small, which makes them seem less scary. Like they're big, but they're not that big. And then when they go back to the surface, they actually feel big.
I mean, because the battle in Rio had humans running for their lives, so you can kind of see the scale.
Yeah, you kind of, but like Godzilla doesn't feel as scary as he first did when you start watching the series.
This movie is very different from the first Godzilla movie, like in the terms of tone and the theme.
Yeah.
It is the same Godzilla though. It's the same Godzilla. Also, I would also say I guess the monsters themselves. This is like the monsters were good. They had some like 25-minute scenes where it's zero dialogue. It's just the monsters interacting with each other, but you can tell what they're saying and feeling in the moment from the sounds they make and the actions they do. And I think they've actually did a really good job of that. I think this is the first time in the MonsterVerse we actually had like full-on monster sequences, no dialogue, just them interacting with each other.
That was mostly Kong, though. So you said earlier that Kong has more screen time than.
Yeah, no, I would say Godzilla is a bit of a side character in this movie.
I think part of the reason that happens is because Kong is much more expressive than Godzilla. So they give him more screen time because they wanted those just monster scenes. So that's why he ends up you seeing him more, at least. Or like you feel you see him more.
But I do feel like people who are hardcore Team Godzilla will be a little bit disappointed that Godzilla didn't really have a lot of things to do in this film. But when he is on screen, he is very cool. When he looks very sick. Before we move on, the movie's runtime was an hour and 50-ish minutes. Do you think it could have been longer?
Yes, could be a bit longer.
Then if it was longer, what should they have done?
More conflict. I don't know. The fight felt very one-sided, if that makes sense. Like, okay, I can't go into the fight describing it, but at some point you knew what was going to happen. So like, I don't know, they could have made it more interesting.
So let's say a person watching this episode hasn't seen the movie yet, but they've seen the trailer. They ask, is this guy a good villain? How would you answer without spoiling it?
He's a bully.
Scar King is a bully.
Yes.
I will say, the way the trailers advertise him made him look like he is an absolute fraud. It just looks like they were bullying him. But I will say, this guy is actually quite a badass, in a bad way. You can actually feel like he is a villain, a bad guy. I will arguably say, some people might go to war with me when I say this. He feels like the Joker of the Monsterverse.
He has some interesting poses. He's kind of like...
Yeah, the way he walks and stuff, it actually does feel he's like, he owns the place.
He's like very gangster.
Yeah, very gangster-like. Also, I will say, he is leaner and shorter than Kong. But he is super agile. And he shows it.
That's because that's why he has a whip.
Yeah. So, there you go. That's my non-spoiler answer to what Scar King is like. But I will say, Ghidorah will easily smack this guy with one head too. I don't think you need to use all three heads. He will easily destroy Scar King. Mechagodzilla, that's a bit more of a debate. But I will say he is definitely not the strongest villain in the Monsterverse, but he is definitely the most evil, I would say. Alright, so that is our non-spoiler thoughts. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I would 100% recommend you go to theaters right now to watch it. It is definitely worth a theater experience for sure. I didn't get to experience Godzilla vs. Kong in the theaters because obviously back when it came out, there was a small little pandemic just roaming the world. Nothing too serious. Didn't cause any shutdowns or anything. So I was just, didn't really get the chance to see it. But with this movie, of course, yes, go experience it in theaters. I would 100% recommend it. All right, so we are done with the non-spoilers. Let's move on to the next section, which is, of course, time to go full breakdown mode onto this movie and talk about this because, man, do I have quite a bit to talk about. There's some things I really want to say that obviously would be heavily leaked. So this is your spoiler warning. If you want to keep watching this episode but not get spoiled, open the description. There are timestamps. There you go. You can click to the next one. You will skip right through the spoiler section. So let's begin. Shall we? I know you had a bunch of things you wanted to say, so why don't you open this section up?
Kong and Godzilla are basically doing side quests before the main boss battle. That's how I would describe it. Kong goes around he basically discovers the subterranean area. Is that what it's called? Subterranea? Subterranean area, something like that. And basically, it's where there's a bunch of apes, monkeys. What's he called? What's his species? Apes. And he discovers. You want to talk about the suit?
Oh my god! Yes, I want to that moment when Kong picks up Zuko and uses him as a baseball bat to whack the other apes. I died in the watching it. It was so funny, and if it wasn't for that, my score would have been 8 out of 10 for this movie, but because of that one scene, I'm adding an extra point to it. That was so funny. The entire theater just cracked up at that. It's so silly, but it works. It just works. What did you guys think of that?
Very random, but it's funny.
Kong is basically like the nice monkey. He wanted to help Zuko first, right? Because he's a small monkey. So it was like, and then apparently they're all very aggressive. He starts biting his finger and stuff, and a bunch of other apes come in. And one of them, he actually tries to save them. He saves the monkey, or the ape. I keep.
It's fine. It's called monkey.
He saves the monkey, and then he proceeds to try to kill him, and then he kicks him off the cliff. It's like, you had your chance, but
I mean, it shows Kong's character.
yeah, kind of. I guess that's the point, right? Like, he's the good monkey, and then Scar King's the bad one. Anyways, for some reason, Zuko brings him to Scar King. I'm not 100% sure why.
No, I think Zuko wanted Kong to kind of liberate the apes, and then Scar King literally tried to bully Zuko and be like, "Why the hell did you bring this fraud into my kingdom?" Yeah. And then I assume that was his dad that tried to stop him, and then Scar King just kicks him into the lava.
Yeah, and then Zuko's like, "Yeah, I don't care, screw you," and then he turns good. Yeah, so. Well, as soon as you see Scar King, you can kind of tell everyone's intimidated by him. And he's also basically a bully, because you can, as soon as the scene starts where they introduce all the...
Very dictator-like.
Yeah. They introduce their fire habitat where they live. You can see, like, skewers with ape heads on, like, spears. So clearly, anyone who opposes him just dies. So
he also has a bunch of loyal apes that are loyal to him. Another funny scene was when I guess there was a senior ape. He was a slave. He tried to lift the rock, but then it got too heavy, so he dropped it. And then one of Scar King's loyal apes just pushes him, like, "What the hell are you doing? Get back to work!" And then Kong, being the nice monkey he is, tries to help him out. He helps him, and then that aggressive monkey comes back and just starts yelling at his face, going all over him, and then Kong was just like, "Shut the hell up," and just one punches him. That was another funny moment.
Good punch.
You were rating his punch.
Good punch. What do you rate out of 10?
8.
I think that ape got knocked out. I think he actually got knocked out. I thought he either that or he actually died.
Probably not dead, but yeah, knocked out. Possibly. And then Scar King, being the bully he is, makes fun of Kong's teeth.
His metal tooth, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess we should talk about this. Earlier in the movie, for some reason...
Kong gets a dental treatment.
Yes, he goes to the dentist. So, in the beginning, he was getting chased by some wolves. Do we have a...
Yes, it's called the wart dog.
So the wart dog, there's a bunch of them that chase Kong. I'm not sure the point of the scene in the beginning. I guess it's to show that Kong is, the ruler of Hollow Earth. Kind of. But it didn't seem that intimidating. He was like kind of running away, so I'm not 100% sure what they're trying to showcase.
He rips one of them in half.
Yeah, so he fights them, they get trapped. Something get trapped, and then he rips one of them in half to intimidate the others. The other 3 run away.
Yeah,
and
he's covered in goo.
Yeah, for some reason,
a shower.
The monsters have green goop, so green blood. Is that in the previous movies?
Yeah, in the first movie, he kills one of those war bats, and then when he rips off the head and eats it, there's this green stuff coming out.
So honestly, I don't remember that from Godzilla vs. Kong very much. I don't remember much green goop. But, yeah.
He cleans himself up with a nice shower under the waterfall.
And he was eating the wolves, the warthogs. Warthogs?
The wart dog, yeah.
Wart dogs. And then he gets an infected tooth. I think he breaks it.
Yep.
And also Doug comes in.
The man, the myth himself, Doug, shows up to steal Kong's food.
Where's the Doug figures?
Up front. Notice how Kong was ready to beef with every Titan except for Doug.
Doug comes in and just steals Kong's food. That's about it.
And they made a whole figure of him just for that 10-second scene.
It was worth it. Anyways, that's basically the backstory of how Kong got a cavity and had to get it fixed. They gave him a metal tooth. And back to the fight, Scar King basically just makes fun of him with no words. So that's kind of like basically how they communicate. A lot of pointing, expressions, grunting,
Roaring.
yeah. So it actually works decently well. They just bullies him for having an implant, and that's kind of.
I guess it was fine at first, but then it reaches the boiling point as soon as Scar King kills Zuko's dad.
Yeah.
And then Kong, I guess that sets off Kong, and then they fight.
Yeah. So, Kong's a nice guy, but don't bully him. He's strong. He got big axe.
Scar King doesn't show up till the halfway point of the movie. They don't introduce Scar King and our spoiler monster till like midway, which I would say is a criticism. I would like to definitely see more of him, more of our villains. But when they were on the screen, especially Scar King, that guy's a dickhead. You can really feel the energy coming from him. I will say he isn't the reason why Godzilla had to evolve into pink. He had to evolve because of what Scar King had, not Scar King himself. Introducing the spoiler monster, aka Shimo. I am finally in the position where I can comfortably reveal Shimo to the world. Here she is. And yes, she is a female. And she is the first Titan. And she caused the first Ice Age. And I guess they never explained how. They never did. But Scar King controls her.
They fight a little bit. Kong gets injured, but he does get some blows in. And then he decides to bring out his little pet, Shimo.
I'm not so sure if she was little, but she's bigger than Godzilla.
Yeah, she seems not that big from like when you initially see her. I was expecting her to be much bigger, honestly.
Did you not see the shot of her towering over Kong?
Yeah, but like Scar King was riding her, and then they didn't seem that far off.
I guess.
So I don't know why, but like the size of the monsters just doesn't seem that impressive. I don't know if that's just how they shoot it. It's only impressive once you see the scale compared to human buildings when they're in the overworld, but not when you initially see them in the Hollow Earth. So yeah, basically, at the end of his spear, there's a blue crystal thing. I don't know if any of your...
No, the Playmates Toys never put it on. I guess that to avoid spoilers. Probably that's the only reason.
Yeah, end of his whip.
Choking hazard.
Or choking hazard, that too, yeah.
It's a little crystal that he uses that somehow controls her, because she has a little... When you see her first, she has a big chain around her neck. I don't think that's the thing controlling her. It's just to restrict physical movement, but the crystal at the end of his whip controls her. That's how he uses her to, like, use the ice breath.
So, she is actually the reason why Kong gets the Beast Glove. Because he gets massive frostbite from her breath.
Gets frostbite, needs hand implant. They bring the hand implant, which is supposed to be they were making a project to improve a Titan. They said
it was because of Mechagodzilla that they realized Kong needed some mechanical augmentation.
But they didn't want it because they were like, Kong is one of the strongest Titans, but we don't want to make him even stronger. So they were like, don't do that. So they didn't get more funding, so they had to cancel it. But they had the working prototype in Hollow Earth in the base, which got destroyed.
Now, see, here's one of the things I didn't like about the movie. Some of the plot points was a little too convenient. Like, when Trapper and Dr. Andrews were talking about the Beast Glove, and he was like, what about Project, I forgot the name, it was like Project, what was it called?
Don't know. Project Beast Glove.
Yeah, it was like Project Beast Glove, and she's like, no, You can't be serious. Not Project Beast Glove. He's like, oh yeah, I'm serious. He's like, and the thing is, it showed in the movie that they took a while to get from that Monarch site to like the Iwi tribe village. But then when Trapper goes to get the Beast Glove, it's like he goes in there in like a quick, like 2-second drive by, grab the Beast Glove, and comes right back in like no time at all to deliver it to Kong. So I feel that part felt a little off.
Yeah, that was more timing. It's just he drove his ship over, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
He flew over.
He gets his augmentations, which is the glove, and I guess another thing is during this whole time they cut back to Godzilla's side quests from time to time to see, just to check on him, see what he's doing, and it's just mostly of him going to nuclear facilities and amping himself up. And then here comes another thing I didn't like about the movie. Godzilla is just shown one-shotting Titans. That's basically all he was doing in this movie. And number one, at the very beginning, the opening credits, he fights Scylla. And Scylla is that big spider titan who is actually one of the titans that bows down to him at the end of King of Monsters. She was one of them. And they did explain it. Since then, Scylla became more rebellious and just wanted to destroy buildings, harm humans, take nuclear radiation for the fun of it. That's why Godzilla went after her, because she was basically misbehaving and Godzilla was there to keep her in check, but it got to the point where she was just too rebellious, so he decides, I'm just going to straight up kill you.
Which one is that?
The big spider at the beginning. He fights her in Rome.
Okay, that's the first fight.
Right after the opening credits. Yeah. So yeah, that was actually the reason. And they do actually have a whole comic book called Godzilla x Kong the Hunted that explains Scylla's reasoning. So yeah, that was why they fought, because Scylla was being she was like a immature teenager, and Godzilla was like, I'm just gonna F and kill you. I have enough.
Good parenting.
I had enough of your tropes, so I'm just gonna kill you. So you can say Godzilla has a massive ego because he is the king of monsters. So he is just like, all right, you don't listen to me, I'm going to kill you. You're dead. Yeah. And then the second Titan he one-shots is a Titan called Tiamat. Now, Tiamat is another Titan from the Monsterverse comics, and she is this very radioactive eel. And I'm not going to lie, it was really cool that they took one of the comic book characters and brought her to the movie, just to be instantly killed off. And she is the primary reason to why Godzilla turns pink. So Brandon, would you like to explain that scene? What exactly happened between him and Tiamat?
Yeah, so Godzilla got kind of hungry and wanted some sashimi, so went into the sea and killed Tiamat, and then it was really tasty. A good meal.
My question is, why was there a submarine just lurking around Tiamat's lair?
Don't know. Probably because they're just analyzing her, right? She's a Titan, so they just put out at least a couple squads out there to look out in case anything happens, right? Precautions. That's what I'm assuming.
I assume, but like, why would Godzilla just kill this? Do you think Tiamat was also being rebellious like Scylla? That's why he just...
She only attacked Godzilla after Godzilla went there, so I think it was just because she's very nuclear, very radioactive, and I just wanted the power.
So God's like, I need your power.
Yeah, he liked the color pink, so you wanted to go there.
So yeah, also they showed his evolution form pretty quickly. It was a very quick explanation. He goes to Tiamat's lair, he kills her, then he goes into her lair and absorbs all the radiation inside the lair, and that's how he becomes pink. That's about it. What do you think of that, Santos, between the two fights? His fight of Scylla and his fight with Tiamat?
I like the first one better, because the second one, I don't know if it kind of felt shorter.
Well, the second one's underwater.
Yeah. First one, there's like a whole bunch of buildings being destroyed and a lot of...
He gives her an uppercut and then chucks her across the city. And he goes full on Mario mode and just leaps onto her and just blows her up. So yeah, that's my biggest criticism is you bring these really cool characters just for Godzilla to one-shot them. I would definitely have loved to see more of, especially Tiamat being a comic book character. Scylla, I can kind of understand. She kind of appeared in King of Monsters already, as well as another Titan, which we will get to in a second. So I don't know. I wish we got to see more of it.
One other thing I want to say is that we don't get a really good comparison of the power level before and after Pink Godzilla. So what I would have kind of like, he gets powered up, then he fights,
Scar King and Shimo.
Yeah, but then we don't really know what he was like, how he compared to them before he got the power up. So we don't really see the power difference.
They did do a whole backstory history lesson thing where it was Godzilla that sealed Scar King and the apes underground.
Yeah, so it sounds like he could have defeated them before, but we don't see it. It doesn't feel like we got a proper comparison, which is probably a good thing they could have used potentially more runtime for, is some sort of conflict between Godzilla and Shimo or Godzilla and Scar King. Like, he fights them a little bit to see that he gets overpowered and that he's much weaker, then he needs the power up, then he comes back, he beats them. Right now he powers up and then he beats them. So I don't know.
And he goes to beat them because Kong recruits him to beat them.
And that we don't know if he would have beat them before without any of the power up or not. We're assuming no, because that's what the movies says, he had to get the power up, implying that he had to get the power to beat them, but we don't know that. Or it's not very clear. It's not shown very well. So I think they could have done that better.
Also, I do think maybe they could have done more scenes of Shimo, because it seems like she has a lot of personality. It seems like she actually doesn't want to hurt Titans, but because of Scar King's crystal, she's just forced to do it against her will. But as soon as she was freed, she's like a dog. She's like a puppy at the end.
He's like, screw you, Scar King. I don't like you.
No, it was more like she just got freed and she doesn't know what to do. And then you have that one shot of Godzilla just yelling something at her, probably to tell her, freeze that and then she said, all right, sure. And then she just freezes him.
And yeah. Okay, well, we're skipping ahead a little.
But yeah, actually, let's backtrack a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, where was I?
You were talking. We just finished Kong's encounter with Shimo.
Okay. So Kong gets frostbite because it's very cold.
Also, they did show the shot in the trailer of her blasting Kong, and Kong is blocking. And I think, remember when we did the reaction, you predicted that was where Kong's axe would break. His axe never broke. It was just stolen by Scar King after that encounter.
Yeah, I guess he got the axe. Well, actually, Suko has the axe now, kind of. He was the one who used the axe.
Yeah, but I think Scar. Well, yeah. Anyways, yeah. After his encounter, Kong escapes, but Scar King sends his men after him.
And then, basically, they manage to retreat to the tribe. I guess we haven't talked about the tribe yet.
Well, we haven't really talked about the human story in general yet.
Humans aren't important. But basically, do you want to explain the humans a little bit, like the tribes?
Well, basically, they're the Iwi. So at first, it was thought Gia, the little girl, was the last of her tribe. And I guess it was her people on Skull Island that died. Turns out there was another Iwi tribe just hidden in Hollow Earth, and they have powers, different powers that they can communicate telepathically. Also, they have these weird ancient technology, anti-gravity stuff, which we'll get into in a bit.
And also, they might be mute.
What does that mean?
None of them talk.
Yeah, they're telepathic.
Yeah, but none of them even try to say anything, or do they just don't know how to speak and they just?
I mean, the leader was kind of communicating with the main characters.
They understand stuff. Like, they're not deaf like the girl is, but they could be mute, or they just don't want to talk, or they don't know how. It's just just an observation.
But anyways, go back. So yeah, Kong and Suko, they meet up with the Iwi people, the tribe.
Yeah, and that's where and then the humans in this movie there's 5 of them originally. There's a trapper, the
Dr.
mom,
Andrews.
Dr. Andrews, the girl, Bernie, of course, and some soldier guy.
The Irish soldier.
I forgot his name. Some Mikhail or something. Anyways, he's very stubborn, and he's like, "Oh, I see nothing on my tracker," and then he gets eaten alive
by a tree.
Yeah. So yeah.
That was like the one jump scare moment of the movie.
Also, that was really predictable. They were like the Australian guy, Trapper, was like, I feel something wrong here, and the other guy is like, no, there's nothing wrong, and then he starts yelling, and I'm like, oh, he's dead, because that's like a death flag right there. But I didn't expect it to be a jump scare. That's all. But I was expecting him to die.
Well, he was the only one that died. Everyone else survived.
It's true.
Because they're main characters, I guess. I feel like Bernie wasn't really needed in this movie.
Did he do anything?
Yeah, he didn't really do anything. But I guess he was there for the comedy.
The only thing he technically did was discover that there was something wrong with the sound waves.
Yeah.
But after he went to Hollow Earth, he's just a tag along. He did pretty much nothing.
Well, he was recording a bunch of stuff. He had a scene with Trapper where Bernie is very excited so he can prove his subscribers wrong, that like his theories about Hollow Earth and stuff. But then Trapper's like, look at this place, it's beautiful. Like, when was the last time a isolated tribe had contact with the outside world and went well? And it's kind of like a heartfelt moment where he's like, what do you think is going to happen if you post all this footage? Like suddenly the civilization,
Tourist attraction.
exactly, yeah. No, I like moments like that. Obviously, it's like not everyone's going to care about these scenes, but like, I appreciated that because it's a little intimate moment. And also makes Bernie like realize that maybe what he's doing isn't really right.
Yeah, but he's still gonna make that podcast. He's probably raking in a ton of money.
Maybe. But the thing is, did he post the footage though? Did he actually listen to Trapper?
But I'm gonna assume he posted some footage. Maybe just
See,
not
that's
of
another
this-
thing.
yeah.
I wish they kind of had a conclusion to that, because at the end it just wrapped up with full-on monsters. They kind of just abruptly cut the human story by the end. So maybe those extra few minutes we could have. I know not everyone's going to be on board of it, but just wrap up the human story a little bit well. Like, what does Bernie do with the footage and all that? But it seems like the humans stay a bit in Hollow Earth after the movie. It doesn't really show them leaving.
Potentially, probably with the tribe, because the girl basically gets along pretty well with the tribe, but also wants to stay with her mom, the doctor.
Now, also, you said in the Godzilla vs. Kong reaction, we were like, how was Gia able to sense Kong's heartbeat and stuff? And you were like, the only explanation is she has powers. And then you're like, hopefully this movie will elaborate on that. And long behold, they did. She has powers. Now that they've explained that, what do you think, Brandon?
It's explained sort of well. Like, the tribe has some sort of telepathic connection, so that explains it. It seems awfully convenient that the one person that lived is the one that's supposed to fulfill the prophecy, but that's just plot armor writing.
And the backstory is Kong saved her. Did Kong knew? That's the thing. Did Kong knew she was going to be important? That's why he saved her?
Well, it's not like he can communicate that very well, right?
So that's a bit of a plot hole there.
Maybe, but it's like...
Can Kong do like sign language?
Yeah, they've established that. He did. He only used sign language once in this movie, which was he said, "I lost home" to Gia.
Yeah, so we don't know how much sign language he actually knows, but he knows some, enough to communicate.
The whole build up to her having powers was that she had Mothra's reboot card this whole time. Yeah. So she could bring back Mothra, which I did not see coming. Look, I knew about Shimo because of all the leaks and stuff. I had zero idea about Mothra. I think she was the real spoiler monster, not Shimo. Yeah, so Kong meets up with the tribe, and then
Gets the power up.
And then he decides, I need Godzilla's help.
Yeah, or because the girl, I keep forgetting her name.
Gia.
Chia or Gia?
J-I-A. Gia.
J-G-I...
J-I-A.
J-I... Gia. Okay, there we go. Gia decides to be like, I need help, or we need help in sign language to Kong. And Kong's like, oh, I know who to go to. And then he goes up through the portal. And also, yeah, the tribe, that area, there's like a bunch of crystals and a bunch of portals too that lead to like different areas. He goes up and then does his roar thing and summons Godzilla.
Also, another thing about the portal thing. Scar King learns about those portals, and that's why he and his men go there. Which, another plot point. Scar King and his apes have been trapped in the Hollow Earth for centuries, and you're telling me it only took them until now to discover that there was a exit point and then they take action now.
I guess. I guess one explanation, possible explanation, is that that weird web wall. Maybe they're just too dumb to try to go through it, so they just don't bother, and they're like, oh, it's blocked off, must be dead end.
And then one of his soldiers stumbled upon Kong entering that tribe, and he goes on and tells Skarking, there's an exit here. If he doesn't say it, but you can see with his actions and stuff, he's like very excited to tell him. And Skarking's like, all right, bad, let's go. Mounts Shimo and uses her to actually, I think, to freeze the organic wall to break it down.
I don't know if that happened, but she definitely froze the pyramid gravity thing.
So yeah, Kong goes to Egypt to recruit Godzilla, and we have a round 3 of Godzilla versus Kong. This was a bonus for sure. Let me rephrase that. This was definitely a bonus that we got to see them fight for the 3rd time. It seems like you would assume after Mechagodzilla they would have, kind of worked it out, became allies, but nope, they still hate each other. Well, it's more like he didn't want to fight. He just wanted to recruit Godzilla.
And Godzilla's like, how dare you invade?
And Godzilla just didn't care. He wanted the smoke. He just wanted. And Kong's like, stop for a second. Like, let me explain. Let me tell you something. And Godzilla's like, nah, like, come here, boy. And then they just fight again. And then I guess Kong was fed up with it, so he just went absolute berserk mode on Godzilla.
But Godzilla does end up winning almost.
Again.
And then, guess who shows up to interrupt them?
You want to say it, Santos?
Mothra.
There you go. So she comes in to break up the fight pretty much, and Godzilla's instantly calm the second he sees Mothra.
Is Mothra Godzilla's wife?
No, but it's like, in our natural animals, there are these animals that are just they have a symbiotic relationship. So it's like crocodiles with pelicans. You see those birds that clean the crocodile's teeth, is like that, kind of like that. So I guess that's what Godzilla species and Mothra species, I guess they have that kind of symbiotic relationship. And I think Kong can sense that, because when Mothra comes, you can see Kong's face. He's like, oh, I think you guys know each other.
Yeah, you got something going on.
Hey, you guys got something going on.
Anyways, they stop fighting, and the girl also shows up. I think Mothra just literally picks her up and then brings her to the surface.
She had a moment with Godzilla.
Yeah, no, she came up with Mothra.
Yeah, but you can see there was a shot where Godzilla was literally looking down at her, and he looks back at Mothra. He was like, who the hell is this kid?
Yeah, she summoned Mothra as her stand.
And I guess Mothra's job was just to, well, number one, surprise the fans. Like, oh my god, Mothra's back. And number two, to unite Godzilla and Kong.
And basically, yeah, that's how they team up. They decide to go back to Scar King, who is now attacking their...
Trapper comes in with a fleet of electric pelicans.
Yeah. So they're trying to... Basically what happened is they wanted to... They have these weird, spiky crystals. Something to do with gravity. And if they connect, they send out, a big shockwave.
Of anti-gravity.
Yeah, so yeah, no gravity for, a couple minutes. And they're trying to do that, but Scar King was like, no, I won't let you. And then he uses Shima to ice breath it, so it's stalled. And then Trapper comes in. Why is he called Trapper?
I guess that's his name. But he comes in with a fleet of electric pelicans to stop him. The monkeys, the evil monkeys, kind of got the worst of it. They were just getting eaten alive. She found them no problem. She just spammed her ice breath around to freeze them.
And basically that was enough. That was some stall to get some time for Godzilla and Kong and Mothra to come back through the portal.
And Suko joined the fight too.
And Suko, was he with the portal?
No, I think he was in Hollow Earth already. There was a quick shot during the fight of Suko chucking a rock at one of the apes.
Yeah, so Suko versus Big Ape. Godzilla versus...
So as you said, yeah, that was enough time for Godzilla and Kong to come down. And then we finally see the full scene of the iconic shot of Godzilla and Kong running together. To the shot that was memed so much. And we can now see that they were charging towards Scar King and Shimo. And then Kong literally hops on Godzilla's back as a
It's just right. They wanted to be the mirror each other.
yeah. And then it cuts to like I think that was the money shot. The two monsters lunging at each other in slow mo. I think that was the money shot of the movie.
To get matched up against each other. So Zuko versus Big Ape, which is probably the most unfair, but somehow he's strong enough to actually hold his own. Godzilla versus Shimo, and Scar King versus Kong.
And then Mothra was just kind of flying around, weapon up the ape.
She's the support. She's the mercy. She kind of feels like Mercy, just like going around. Does she heal people?
No, I don't think she's a healer herself, but her essence can heal. She turned Godzilla into Burning Godzilla. Remember?
Yeah, she kind of does heal. I don't know why, but she just gives me Mercy vibes. She's like support, just like flying around and like helping.
I mean, she also saved the human ship.
Yeah. So she's basically the support character here. It feels like a game of Overwatch now.
Also, I feel like Mothra is one of the few Titans, apart from Kong, that are actually really close with the humans. And then, so yeah, they have the whole anti-gravity fight, which for any big monster fan lover, this is probably like the biggest fight you ever like. That was an intense and super fun fight. Anti-gravity made it a lot crazier, of course. There was one shot where Shimo kind of froze Godzilla entirely, and he just breaks through it like it's not a problem, and he just swims towards her like a shark.
He does kind of look like a shark when he's swimming.
And I felt maybe because of his evolved form, but you saw like she gave Kong frostbite, but to Godzilla's like nothing. Kong and Scar King had the clash. Kong manages to take his axe back from Scar King.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I guess what happens is they fight there, and then basically Scar King decides to dive for the portal. I don't know if he just gets yeeted towards the portal, and then he's like...
Well, I think the gravity turned off at that point.
Oh, yeah. Gravity turned off at some point. They kind of fall, and then he somehow ends up at the portal. I don't know if he jumped to it or something, but he decides to try to go through the portal, which all the other monsters follow them.
I think Shimo just was falling through. Yeah. She was just falling through randomly. I think Godzilla saw Scar King going through the portal, so he pursues him. Yeah. And then Kong just follows in the end.
Something like that. Oh, Kong follows Scar King. Right? Was it?
Kong was the last one to fall. Oh, he was the last one to go through the portal.
Godzilla tried to stop Scar King.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
And then Shimo just randomly fell in.
And what happens is Kong tries to clip onto the wall with his axe, but then it doesn't work. He falls in, and the axe gets stuck. And this is where Zuko comes in, and he's like, time to take the axe, and then he follows them after.
And then the Hollow Earth fight transitions into the final fight in Rio.
Yeah, in the overworld. In the is that the right term? Overworld?
It's a surface world.
Surface world? Okay.
Now, the Rio fight, again, great, amazing, great choreography, lots of destruction, but it went by too quickly, in my opinion.
And also, this also showcases Scar King again. He kind of looks at the humans, and he like has like an evil moment, evil laugh, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you all, and then he's like trying to like ice them.
Yeah, he gets Shimo to first freeze the sky, to block out the sun, and then he gets her to just straight up destroy the building.
Yeah, he sees the humans and he's like, time to kill them.
That's a moment of scale. You can see Scar King is clearly towering over the humans.
So that, you actually can see the scale, which I kind of like, but I wish they kind of did that better before.
And then as Scar King was enjoying his maniacal moment, he instantly gets one punched by Kong's beast glove, and he loses his tooth in doing so.
Tooth for a tooth.
Yeah. And then you can see a shot where Kong kind of smirks, and he's like, ha, that's what you get. But yeah, and then I guess Scar King tries to get Shimo back in action, but Godzilla just straight up goes for her. He tackles her through the building. But you can clearly see he's struggling against Shimo just because of her size.
Also, she's just strong. Like, the ice breath is good.
They had her fight with Godzilla was just a brawl. It was just more like she was pushing him and Godzilla was trying to like hold back.
I think Godzilla gets like knocked down, and then
Shimo throws him.
Yeah, and then Kong has to do all the fighting, and then he gets trampled or whatever, gets stuck. And then Godzilla saves him, and then the blade part of Scar King's whip.
Oh yeah, that was pretty sick. Godzilla turns Super Saiyan mode on Scar King.
Yeah, well, it gets detached from his whip, and then Zuko takes Kong's axe and breaks the blade part.
Well, yeah, basically they're struggling to... Scar King doesn't want the crystal destroyed, because that's how he controls Shimo, and then they're trying to destroy it, and then, yeah, I guess the part where Zuko comes in, it actually comes in a bit later. He just comes in, and then he's like, attacks with the axe on the...
Which creates a huge shockwave that sends Shimo flying. I remember Shimo was like, "Arr!"
I was thinking he was gonna get the axe and like throw it to Kong or something, but that works too.
I didn't realize Kong's Beast Glove was ice repellent, because he held him. He blocked Shimo's ice bear for a god awful long time, and in the end he just wipes it all off like it was water. And I guess during that moment, that's when Godzilla has his fight with Scar King. He becomes so pink, he kind of becomes purple. You can see there was radiation leaking out of his eyes, and then he's just spamming the breath at Scar King. Scar King tries to whip him, but Godzilla has really great aim, I guess, and just catches the whip in his mouth, and then breaks apart the crystal. I feel that was a little bit unfair to Scar King, because Godzilla's just going full try hard on him, and he's just running for his life.
I mean, that's what you get when you fight Godzilla, or when he's pink.
Exactly. It's like Scar King tries to land a hit, it fails, and then it just turns him running, and that's it.
So yeah, the fight kind of goes on a 2v2 into a 3v1.
Yeah. And then also Godzilla saves Kong from Shimo as well. Like he just runs at her and just tackles her away, and then that's when I do like that brawl between Kong and Scar King for the crystal. It's kind of just, it really looks like two humans in a wrestling ring, just like wrestling each other. Also, I guess the one you can see Kong use his metal tooth and bite Scar King's arm, and now obviously that was super painful. And then yeah, so Zuko comes in, breaks the crystal. Shimo's now free. Then what?
Shimo freezes Scar King, and then Kong like breaks him.
Yeah, he just completely shatters him into pieces. I would argue that was one of the most brutal monster reverse deaths. It was more like, as soon as Shimo was free, she doesn't know what to do. She looks so lost. And then, I guess there was another moment where Scar King tries to kill Zuko, because Zuko obviously was the one who broke the crystal. He grabs Zuko, and then Kong just comes in and one punches him again. And then he picks Scar King up like a baseball, throws him towards Godzilla, and Godzilla uses his tail like a baseball bat to whack Scar King back to him.
Oh, they kind of play like catch for...
Yeah, they play catch with Scar King for a second. And then, Shimo just looks at him like, what do I do? And then Godzilla roars at her, clearly saying, freeze his ass. What are you doing? And then she was like, okay, and just freezes him, like without hesitation, which I guess is fair, because she's been a slave to him for all these years. It's her revenge. And then Kong just shatters him like a Lego set into a million pieces.
So, correction, when I said this was a 3v1, it was actually a 4v1, because Zuko is in there too.
Exactly. And then, in the end, Godzilla undoes Shimo's work by just unleashing his heat ray into the air. There was a shot where they were all looking up at Godzilla's thing, and Shimo was just looking like it's like she's seen the rainbow or something. Like, you can see on her expression, she's like, what am I looking at?
It's very impressive.
Yeah. And then, so that just ends. That's the fight. And then, I guess Shima was very grateful for Kong that she decides to go back with him to the apes. Yeah. Instead of wandering free and living independently.
So it looks like Kong is now the new Scar King, kind of.
Do you think he has established his King Kong title now, you can say? He can get the king back in his name?
Yes. He's now he has an army, sort of, assuming they're loyal to him, but I'm assuming there probably will be, but not confirmed.
Do you think he's officially adopted Zuko? Because they didn't really explain that.
Probably. I mean, we're gonna see. Assuming, yeah, you think they're gonna make another movie, right?
Adams Wingard said if this movie is a success, which quite evidently it is, he will definitely see if he can do another sequel. Which he will. He already says he has plans for it, and he wants the sequel to be more Godzilla focused, which is fair, because these previous few movies have just been Kong focused.
So I guess in the next couple of movies, we're gonna see Godzilla have his army, maybe, and probably Zuko's in there too. So that will probably
Maybe Shimo will, because Shimo's kind of like an anti-Godzilla. Maybe she can help him out. When I say Shimo is a great dog, I mean it. The way she behaves at the end, she's like a dog. And Kong is like giving her head massages and stuff.
Well, she's pretty cute as long as she's not like freezing you to death.
I feel like we'll definitely see more. I do wish we saw more of her. She has less screen time than Scar King. So I do feel like especially with her being leaked, like she was the secret spoiler. Well, it turns out it was actually Mothra. Like it will be nice to see more of her. But it feels like she's been a last minute addition too. Like they needed a reason for Godzilla to exist in the movie. All right, so let's make an anti-Godzilla. So yeah, okay. So we basically elaborate the entire monster sequence. Let's go back a few steps. There were some moments between Kong and Zuko where it's just, again, no dialogue, just monsters interacting. It really showed Kong's care, because like, okay, well, there was the lake scene. Zuko leads Kong to the lake, I guess to bathe. Was it to bathe or to drink, or was it both?
Potentially both, but I think they were drinking.
Okay, and then this eel thing attacks Kong, which makes it like the third water-based monster that dies in this film. I guess Zuko saw that as an opportunity to make a run for it, but Kong somehow, with miraculous aim, throws the axe right in front of Zuko for him to trip over it.
I don't think that was that the intent?
It feels like Kong was like, "Where do you think you're going? I'm not done with you yet. Get back here." And he chops off the head of the eel. He actually breaks off a piece and offers to Zuko, and Zuko just doesn't really know how to react.
He's like, "No, I don't want this green slime. It's gross. It's not. It's like Rachin sashimi."
Pretty much, yeah. And they just just have this bonding moment. And I will say, I've seen some people make this comparison. It feels like God of War with Kratos and the little kid, the child he's with. Like the child is leading Kratos through the wilderness, and he's just holding his axe. Kind of feels like that. Now, humans. We can't forget about them. Gia's whole reasoning, her whole story was so she can bring Mothra into the playing field. Was it the strongest human story? No, it's not. There were some elements that have definitely feel like it's not written well. I will say I'm glad I didn't include the Deadpool kid from Godzilla vs. Kong. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but some of his lines was really annoying in Godzilla vs. Kong. So I'm glad that they cut him out, as well as Millie Bobby Brown's character. Having one human story just kind of tie into the monster story is good. I feel like that was more, but it could definitely be better. Without the humans, you wouldn't have the explanation of the Beast Glove. You wouldn't have Mothra. So I can see why it was needed.
It's just mediocre, I think. The writing in that part, it's just like whatever. It's all right. It passes. It's sufficient, but there's nothing like amazing about it. But there's nothing like really bad about it either. So it's just very mediocre to me.
Do you think the Iwi tribe has ever interacted with the ape tribe?
I'm gonna guess not, because none of the apes seem to know about that place until just this movie.
So do you think they will interact?
Like interact in the future? Yeah. Probably, potentially, because now the apes are supposedly friendly because if they're under Kong's rule, right? So they might visit them sometime. It's possible.
Or maybe they can help out. maybe some of the stuff the humans can't do, the apes be like, all right, let us help you out and do it. Yeah, Godzilla felt like a side character in this movie. Apart from one-shotting Titans, there was one scene where he was at a French nuclear facility, just absorbing radiation. Cool scene, but wasn't needed. So he was at a French nuclear facility, absorbing radiation, and seems like the humans never learn from their mistake. They send fighter jets after him with missiles that do no damage to monsters, as has been established in many movies already, wasting tax money and human lives to go after Godzilla.
Yeah. Yeah, they just like shooting him sometimes, right? They want a big target. There's just, I guess it's just to showcase them that he needs more power. That's what they were going for.
I guess it also shows that Godzilla isn't he's not necessarily a hero. He's just there to keep nature in balance, pretty much. Any Titan that's like kind of going against it, disrupting nature, Godzilla will come after him and like either discipline that Titan or kill him. Do you think Godzilla has a big ego problem? Being the king of monsters?
Potentially. I think you can kind of see it. But it just could be, instinct. He's just trying to... He seems... I don't know if he sometimes leaves Titans alone, but like the movie kind of shows that he's kills problematic Titans usually. Like the first one he kills like kind of attacking a city, so he kills him sort of.
You're talking about Scylla, right? The spider?
Yeah, the tentacle one, the first one.
Yeah, Scylla, yeah.
And then I don't know about Tiamat, but the movie did say she's very like territorial and aggressive. So I guess she's kind of problematic too. So sort of, but like you can argue it either way.
It just seems like when Ghidorah became the alpha, like it feels like when Ghidorah became the alpha, he didn't really do anything to the other Titans. But then when Godzilla is the alpha, he's like, all right, time to like go around making sure everyone's actually doing their. I feel like Godzilla is the alpha that actually does his job. Ghidorah's just there like, all right, I'm the leader, sick. I am the leader.
But he wasn't leader for long, so yeah. we don't really know what he would have done if he was doing that for longer.
All right. The Egypt fight. I feel like it was a blessing we were able to get a round 3 of Godzilla versus Kong. Actually, it's more like round 4, kind of. They fought in Hong Kong twice, but you said Hong Kong was kind of like a big long sequence, so you can argue it's round 3. I would say it's round 4. Anyways, it's a very different fight from Godzilla vs. Kong, the movie. Godzilla did a WWE move on Kong. That was something. He RKO'd Kong. Oh no, it was I think it was a suplex. It was a suplex, not an RKO. Sorry. He suplexed Kong off the pyramid. that was amazing.
Yeah, that fight was just showing off their moves.
You can see, like, okay, well, number one, you can see Kong didn't want to fight him. He's literally like, stop, look at the portal, get in the portal, and Godzilla just doesn't care, and he's running at him. And Kong's literally like, wait, hold up, he's like, shit, just accepts the tackle, and it's actually quite funny how like Godzilla just casually destroys a historic pyramid just by stumbling over.
He's like, there's a little rock here. Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, what did you think of that fight? Not counting the part where Mothra comes in to break it up.
It's decent.
Comparing to their previous fights in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, I like the Hong Kong battle better.
Well, cinematically, I think this is worse than the Hong Kong battle, but in terms of entertainment, it's better. So they got some funny moves.
You just got to see Kong beat the shit out of Godzilla with the glove.
Yeah, the moves they pulled off are pretty good. Those are good, but in terms of like epicness and cinematography, mediocre.
There was that one shot where Kong was literally dragging Godzilla by the tail to the portal. He's like, all right, if you're not gonna cooperate, I'm gonna force you to get to the portal. And Yeah, and then Godzilla still wasn't done yet. Shoots his atomic breath at him, and then he becomes a ninja pretty much after that. He's able to silently sneak up on Kong, attack him, and all that. But personally, I feel like that fight wouldn't have been needed if they properly made up after Mechagodzilla. You know, I feel like at that point they respect each other, so they should have been on neutral terms already, instead of Godzilla just going after him with all the smoke. I don't know. At least that's my opinion. Now, another funny moment was when Godzilla decides to take a page from Miles Morales and does the leap of faith off the mountain into the water. Number one, I think that water is a little too shallow for Godzilla to be diving in. Number two, Godzilla has a long tail and chubby legs. How was he able to propel himself off that mountain? And number three, in the first Godzilla movie, when he arrives to Hawaii, it causes a whole tsunami that flooded Honolulu. Here, he dives into shallow water. Nothing happened. Just a big cannonball.
Egypt water physics.
Yeah. So, the guy behind us went, "What the hell?" At that scene, that was pretty funny. We had a pretty funny audience reaction at that. I don't know. Do you feel like once Godzilla's evolved, his physical abilities become a little unrealistic?
I think the animators just got lazy. They maybe just didn't catch it.
Do you think? Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think of? What do you think of that moment? Just like he goes on top of the mountain, he sees Kong, he's like, "Bet," and just does the Miles Morales Spider-Man jump into the water.
Honestly, I don't remember that part. Santos, so
what do you think,
remember?
Santos?
Kind of weird.
So yeah, there were a bunch of funny moments, a bunch of WTF moments in the film. Definitely more than Godzilla vs. Kong for sure. But I do think ultimately in the end, this whole movie was made because here's the thing: you rewatch some of the older Showa era Toho movies, there has been some wild stuff that happens in those movies. The most iconic one is Godzilla literally levitates in the air and he does this flying kick, and it's the funniest movie scene. I would argue that was the funniest monster scene anyone's ever seen. Like, I will show you guys later. It's so funny. There was another scene from the Showa movies where Godzilla shoots the atomic breath. Let me show you. Shoots the atomic breath. He curls up his tail and he shoots the atomic breath and he just starts flying into the air. So Godzilla's no stranger to unrealistic and humorous fighting styles. This is just the modern day CGI version of it. So do you feel like they should do more of these goofy fighting moves?
All in all, I think it's a pretty good movie. The action's good, but the story's questionable, so when you watch it, just don't think too hard about the story. Just enjoy the action. Turn off your brain. Or else you're going to be like, critiquing the movie. Or like questioning parts of it.
Okay. Alright. Before we end this section, let me show you some of the Showa movies back in the day. This is the iconic Godzilla flying kick meme. So Godzilla's no stranger to goofy fighting moves. So honestly, the MonsterVerse needs more of this. We need more of that. Someone made an. Oh yeah, this is the other one. Yeah, let's open this one. So he emotes. This is the one I was telling you about. I was kind of hoping that would happen in the gravity, the iconic one. I was hoping it would do this in the anti-gravity fight. Oh yeah, this one he did do.
Oh, it's just still.
Oh, and there you go.
What's weird about running?
Well, to be fair, Godzilla's always written to be this slow, like, heavy, destructive beast, and you just have him running. Like, we need to see more of that. I don't care what the critics think. We need to see more of these goofy fighting styles from Godzilla, and I think Kong as well. Kong needs some more funny fighting styles, too. So, ultimately speaking, this movie is really just there. Turn off your brain, enjoy the fights, enjoy the spectacle. That's about it. And yes, please give us a sequel to this movie. Let Adam Wingard complete a trilogy. I would definitely love to see that. And make a more Godzilla-focused story. So, yeah. Had a lot to say about this movie, that's for sure. So, we're going to take a break. But, after we come back, it's time to take a look at all of these wonderful products made from this movie.
Guys, we're gonna look at all the figures, his figure collection for this movie. Most of them are from this movie, except 2 of them are kind of from this movie, but kind of not. We'll explain that later. Yeah, we'll go through each one, and we'll give our thoughts on it. And if you'd like to see a detailed review, check the main. This is going on this is on the podcast channel, right? Check the main channel, Mark45 Studios, for detailed reviews, because, trust me, they're good videos. Go watch them. Alright, so, if you watched the beginning of it, I was wearing that. So, yeah, its roar is triggered by the mouth. You're supposed to move it down, but I think Santa's like pressing on the side also activates it. Yeah. It's pretty clunky. The mask is not comfortable to wear. It's very heavy.
Also, like, you're not really seeing through Godzilla's eyes. You're seeing through, like, these holes.
His nose holes. Yeah, you can't see that well out of it. You can see a little bit, but it's not very. Don't wear this in public. You'll probably run into people, and you'll look like an idiot.
Out of 10.
1.
Damn!
No, that's harsh. Okay, I give it a 5 out of 10 because it's funny to wear.
Should I get the Kong mask?
Yes, get that, and we should do a video where we fight each other.
No.
Alright, I guess tiny figures next. Get the Wart Dog. This is the only figure that has been made on this character.
To be fair, it's a side character. You see him in the beginning and never again.
His eyes look like where his ears would be. Yeah, it's a very small scale.
Yeah, he's deformed.
Next.
Give this a 2 out of 10.
Damn. Alright, next. The man, the myth, the legend. The goat himself.
Yeah, you don't really need to paint this figure because he's just one color. Well, except for the teeth.
What do you think of his 10 seconds of fame in that video, in the movie?
It's good. It was the best moment. It was my favorite moment. I'd rewatch the movie just to see that.
What were you, Santos?
Second best.
Damn. What is the best?
The lacking Suko.
Do you think Doug did better in Godzilla vs. Kong or this movie?
I don't even remember what he did last time, but I think he had more screen time last time. So.
Blue Godzilla? Pink Godzilla?
They're exactly the same. It's just his fins are different colors.
One of them is also more fit.
Okay.
My boy be hitting the gym.
Yeah, his legs are longer.
Is it the same mold?
No.
No.
Yeah, his legs are longer in the pink one.
Wow.
Yeah, he got leg surgery.
Alright. Suko. Kong without the glove.
Suko's eyes are like It looks creepy.
Yeah, he looks like an alien. I don't know about this, but like it does not look pleasant, you know?
Kong is he looks angry.
He is angry. He's about to pounce on someone.
Kong with the glove. Skarking.
Just doing a funny pose.
He has an infinity gauntlet.
I think that's been established.
Yeah, except can he even snap? Does he know how to snap?
Last tiny figure.
She looks cool, except her crystals are kind of solid. And I think, should be more glowy, like more translucent.
I don't think they can do translucent at the scale. Might be too expensive.
Yeah, you could, but it'd make it more expensive. I'm just saying, it would look better, like a lot better.
Alright, now we're slowly going bigger. Alright. Kong, Godzilla.
So for these figures, you can actually move their arms around now.
They are roughly $10 each, full size. The smaller ones are like $5 each.
If you had to go for one of these, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Canadian dollars, by the way.
Yeah. If you had to pick one of these, the big figure or the small figure, I'd say the big figure is worth the price. These small figures are very tiny.
You can get them from those mystery crystals.
Oh, so they're random.
Yeah, they're random.
Okay, I guess they're different things anyways, but in terms of value, I'd say this looks more worth it if we're just valuing the price tag. Okay.
Skarking and Shimo.
His arms. That's pretty much it. So
Yeah, you can.
less than the Godzilla figure.
Yeah. She can also move her arms and get her into an interesting pose.
She really looks like she's having a seizure. Alright. So, continuing on with the Playmates trend, let's now look at the 6-inch figures now. First up, we have Suko with this rock that cannot be attached to his arm, so it comes separately.
Looks like an expired candy.
It looks like a McDonald's chicken nugget.
Yeah, his face still looks creepy.
So now there's like 4 joints. You can move the joints and the arm and his torso and his legs. Yeah. Oh, you can't. No, you can move his head. So yeah. Nice figure, but it's still a little creepy, and I don't know the right way to put him back.
Well, the medium figures look better.
Like overall score?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to rate each and every of them.
Medium is like a 6 out of 10. Small one's like a 5 out of 10.
I agree.
Okay. Alright, back to our regular 6-inch figures. Let's look at, once again, the GOAT of the entire Monsterverse, Doug.
This guy, now you can move his arms, his legs, and also his tail here.
Which, I'm surprised for a character that appears for 10 seconds, they did a full-on action figure for him. Or you think it's just fan service?
I think it's just fan service, but it's funny. It's good. It's good fan service.
Like, oh yeah, here's a figure of Doug, just to make you happy. Alright, let's move on. Let's continue the 6-inch figures. Start with the G-Man himself. Sorry, Scarly.
They're having an intense battle.
He's probably dead at this point. I'm blocking the camera, am I? Yes, I am.
It's alright.
Normal Godzilla. Pre-evolution. The flying kick. Alright. What do you think? And then these guys, we can rate them out of 10.
He's cool. I like him. 7 out of 10.
More articulation. Is there like... What is that?
Battle damage. Don't do it though. That's a lot to put back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah. Only
5.
downside is he's oh 5. That was harsh. Only downside is his back's a little spiky, but I guess that's supposed to be realistic. But you know,
Also, why is the dog just sitting on top of the tins?
he deserves it. Oh, there's a beam that's supposed to balance here, but it's a little tricky to get him.
Alright, so then after he kills Tiamat and goes into the iceberg, he comes out as this.
Okay, this is better. Give it a 7.
Is it better? It's slightly better. 7.5.
Monkey.
He looks like he's throwing a tantrum. Lots of articulation. You can move the joints around
Yeah,
a lot.
there's a lot of detail on his
The
beast
wrist-
glove.
The beast glove wrist, you cannot articulate it. That one's restricted.
Yeah,
7 out of 10.
I agree.
Okay.
That was very quick. Alright. Scar King.
Nice whip.
Doesn't have the crystal at the end. You think that was...
Yeah, okay, maybe not.
You think that was to protect spoilers? Or prevent, not protect.
No, probably choking hazard.
Well, all they have to do is make the tip blue. Right? Don't have to make it detachable.
No, I think that's just a skull, and then the blade goes here.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looks like... Wait, it looks like you could. Looks like you could put it there. I don't know.
Well, you can also see what the other... You can wrap the whip around him.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what it's for. Yeah. You can wrap it, and then you can, like, put it probably over his arm.
She-Mo.
7 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10. This
Brief
one...
explanation to why?
No. Their crystals are more translucent. I like the texture on them. And the tail's movable. And she has a breath.
I agree.
Okay, so those are the commons. Next up, these guys are available in play sets. So these play sets, you get 2 of these figures and a cardboard cutout. So the first play set here is Kong versus Scar King. And as you can see, they have new prints compared to their common ones.
Oh, he's more back now.
Bro, no hesitation. He just said that so calmly.
These colors don't really make sense for battle damage.
Yeah, it looks like they just took the color off him and just put it on him.
Yeah.
So he's now have red yellow for some reason, and he has like hints of black.
So it's $40 for the set. So the 2 figures plus the cardboard cutouts. That's $40 altogether.
Not worth it.
But do you think the play set is worth getting, or just buy the individual ones?
Yeah, just individual ones.
How much are the individuals?
Like $15 each. They're available at Toys R Us right now.
So it's
I'm not sponsored, but you can get it at Toys R Us right now.
So it's plus 10 for the color scheme.
Yeah, pretty much. And some cardboard.
Meh. Not really, yeah.
And by the time you're watching this episode, I am finally going to post the reviews of this playset. Godzilla vs. Shimo. And in the playset, the way they packaged it, Shimo was standing on 2 legs. So it looked like she was going to tower Godzilla, but she did not do that at all in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know why Godzilla is very light blue.
I think they're trying to show that he's getting hit with her frostbite.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. And her mouth moves. That's kind of cool.
I will say I like the colors better on this Shimo than the common one.
Actually, yeah. The coloring is a bit better, but also looks paler. Yeah, there's like... the color is a bit different. I don't know. But you can move her mouth. But you can move her mouth in the other one.
The other one, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you can move her mouth in both. But that's not natural drum.
That was disturbing. We had these guys out when we did the trailer reaction. Yeah, so here they are again. Scar King.
Guess they have sound effects.
The buttons at the back. So they each have 2 roars. So you can, I guess you can judge that too. You can rank the roars.
Oh, and his mouth moves.
Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, so yeah, the mouth goes up when you push that button. 7 out of 10.
7.
All right.
That's our default rating.
Next up, Kong.
Oh, does it look like someone poked his chest with a fork?
It is a big improvement from the Godzilla vs. Kong one. That one looked hideous. So cartoony. This one's definitely a big improvement.
Yeah, there's less articulation because you have to fit in the electronics, but it's alright.
I agree.
So, out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Alright, next up. Next up, the G-Man himself.
There's more fork stabbings in this.
Yes. So y'all looks like someone like trying to bake him.
You're talking about the screw holes, right?
No,
The
like,
speaker.
sound. Yeah.
Thing. Does he move his? Yeah, he does. That's alright.
Oh yeah, and then Kong does that too. He moves his mouth.
Alright, this one is a bit on the interesting side. I had questions when this was revealed. I was like, who sat in the Playmates meeting room and be like, guys, I have a brand new idea for a sick Godzilla toy. What if we had Godzilla in a skin suit? So this is one figure. The idea is you peel off the skin suit to get the pink Godzilla underneath, and then you can reverse the process.
It's very
And
rubbery.
This was $40.
What's the normal one worth?
Like 15,
So plus skin suit is plus $25.
pretty much.
Not worth it.
Definitely not worth
It's
it.
the same size. The bodysuit, the skin suit is the same size as the Battle Horse.
I see. I don't think it's worth it. It's just rubber for like $25. You more than
It's
double.
very
the price.
flexible though. I overstretched it. I was like very concerned I would break it, but it's actually very elastic. So. Okay, let's take a quick pause from the Godzilla x Kong toys and look at two Godzilla vs. Kong toys. What am I talking about? I am talking about this one, this Kong, and this supercharged Godzilla. Both made an appearance in the actual movie.
In the guy's podcast room.
So do you think these are two good candidates to make an appearance in the movie?
I mean, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, they're good figures. They're fine. I don't like from camera angle when you see them. You don't really see much of a difference between each figure, anyways. As long as it's a decent size and sufficient quality, it'll look good.
Let's finish off the Playmates figures by looking at the big boys now. So this guy who keeps tripping over, Big Boy Scar King here, and yes, there is a giant Shimo coming. It was just announced the other day. So there will be a Shimo figure of this size. But what do you think of Scar King? The one you can get him at GameStop right now. We've seen him at GameStop a couple times. His whip is not detachable though.
Okay, I wish it was detachable. Yeah.
It's very cool. I give it 7.5 out of 10.
Kong or Godzilla next? You choose.
Kong. This one, his body feels hollow. I don't know. It's like
Hollow
cheap.
Earth.
Yeah. You can't move his right wrist. Painting is okay.
Oh, there's a little bit of a yellow dash on his shoulder. You can see.
Maybe a miss. That could have been
Yeah,
a
that-
misprint.
Could be a misprint. Could be like the paint coming off. Not sure, but that's there. Besides that, not too bad, but yeah, it's kind of clunky. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
G-Man.
I wish his arm things were also translucent. Since it's like his body is like really hollow and they could put electronics inside and make sounds.
Do you think they should do what they did, what the other toy company did with this figure and like have him shoot stuff?
Yeah, but it'll probably like double the price. This could totally whack someone. You're like moving and you're like, alright. Yeah, same issue. It's hollow, so, and the arm, yeah, doesn't match the rest of his design.
The flying kick? You're doing the flying kick? Yeah. Would you actually? Would it be if they actually had MonsterVerse Godzilla do some of the stupid stuff the the original Toho Godzilla did, do you think that would satisfy the fans and piss off the critics even more?
Honestly, just have like a bloopers or something of that effect, like an extra, like a Blu-ray extra of them animating that. That would be nice, but not. I don't think in the real movie. I don't think that would be good. It just ruined the immersion.
Okay.
But it'd be funny as a one-of, like separate.
Alright, so these tiny figures and this big figure are from Jada Toys, but I want to show this big figure last. So, we're going to skip Jada Toys for a second and go to the Funko Pops. So, let's go over the comments first. So, first up, so these are the exact same Pops. I just bought 2 of each because I am stupid. So, here is the in-box and here's the out-of-box of Scar King. Does he look like Kratos?
Yeah. This is literally Kratos. Kratos as a monkey.
Kratos with a whip.
Okay, well, take a look. He's out of the box here.
Yeah, I don't think he looks like this in the actual movie.
Well, his eyes were blue.
Yeah, but like the tattoo, the red tattoo was not like
that's
that.
true, yeah.
The tattoo's different, but it's too red. Now it looks like Kratos.
Evil monkey. Now we got tiny monkey. Zuko.
Less creepy than the smaller figures.
There's a little scar on his right eye.
I think he had that scar.
Yeah, I didn't really notice in the movie. It's maybe not obvious.
Either Scar King whipped him or something, or he got it on his own accord. Monkey with Infinity Gauntlets.
It's alright. There's like...
I think a little piece of the pop inside snapped
Ooh.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
I can't get it out without completely dissecting his head, so it is what it is.
Yeah, but at least it's still functional as long as you don't shake it.
Yeah.
You won't notice.
Do you think these pops have been an improvement from the Godzilla vs. Kong pops?
I don't remember what they are, but I guess probably. Maybe.
Well, Big G-Man. Gojira.
Very cool they added the atomic breath.
Give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, you didn't rate the other 3, didn't you?
It's fine. I give him an overall rating of 7 out of 10. That's like a 7.5.
It's all 7.
All 7?
This one, I like this one slightly better than the other ones.
Not everything's all 7.
This is like the default.
We have one more common, and who could it possibly be?
Doug.
I wish I did a pop for him, but no, it's the Ice Queen.
I wish the atomic breath was like more translucent.
Well, it's not her atomic breath; it's her.
Yeah, ice, whatever. Yeah.
More translucent would be better. Maybe that's like a chase. Is there maybe a chase version of her?
No, there's no chases made for this movie.
Didn't think
We do
of
have some exclusives though, which is a fantastic transition to look at some of the exclusives. So obviously I didn't buy 2 of each because these are exclusives, so I had to go on eBay and buy them. So here is our first exclusive from Target Con to be specific. We got Kong dual wielding his glove and his axe, which now after seeing the movie I realize it's a spoiler actually.
The axe is on the thicker side. The beast glove is alright.
Comparing that to his common then, when it's just his glove.
It's like about the same.
He's like,
But
his arms on his chest.
yeah. This one's just a neutral pose. That one's more cooler of a pose, I guess.
This one is a bit better, I think.
Of course, it's an exclusive.
Of course. I give it an 8 out of 10.
This next one is a pretty interesting one, exclusive to Amazon.com. I don't even know when .ca will get it. .ca, I can never trust it. But this is Sleeping Godzilla.
Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Doug.
I know. I can see Doug in him too.
This is literally Doug, but you became purple.
So here's the thing. You know why he's so pricey on Amazon? Because they made such a big box for him. But he's the exact same size as the regular size Funko Pops.
He takes good. He chose a good place to nap.
The Roman Colosseum.
But I'm surprised it's still up. I'd imagine it would be crushed by now.
Well, his home did get blown up in King of Monsters, so you have to find some. He's technically homeless.
All right. Is the next movie gonna be called Godzilla? Homeless.
Wait,
Right,
like the Spider-Man titles? No
Yeah.
Way Home.
No wait. Godzilla X Kong finding a home.
Well, that Kong is his real estate agent. He's
Yes.
going through Hollow Earth trying to find him a house.
That's the next movie we're calling it right now.
Yo, Adam, if you're watching. Anyways, the next ones are 6-inch pops, so the bigger ones. They are common, so they should be pretty easy to find. I literally saw them at Toy Traders today. I'm gonna bleep that out. So here's the first one, Godzilla. So these are the bigger ones. They cost around $25, so $10 more than the regular size.
It looks more detailed.
Than the Sleeping Godzilla?
Than the smaller one, like the common. Yeah, but I wish I had the breath thing.
It's too big. They don't have enough material. They don't have money to make breath that big.
Maybe. Now, Big Monkey, which I would argue is literally just an upscaled version of the common.
Yeah, he looks like a baby. The baby eyes. Actually, all Funko Pops have that.
So, now that we've seen all the Funko Pops, oh yeah, I should also mention I'm missing one. It is Scar King on the Throne. It's a Funko Shop exclusive, and I still don't know when it's actually releasing. No one has it yet at this point in time. So, that's the one pop I'm missing. So yeah, from all the pops in this whole line, not counting that Scar King pop, which one is your favorite?
Sleeping Godzilla.
Sleeping Godzilla. Yeah, I'm gonna move it.
This one.
Breathing Godzilla.
Yeah.
Breath Godzilla.
So Brandon's is sleeping, Thanos is breathing. So that rhymes. But in the end, both still like Godzilla. So I don't know which one you're holding.
Scar King. Weapon Whip Slash. That's what it's called.
What do you think?
Are you supposed to put popcorn in here?
Yeah, the lid pops open.
Okay, so that's what it looks like inside. That's neat. Does not smell like popcorn because I guess you haven't put popcorn in
Do
it.
not put popcorn in, you're right.
Chinese medicine.
It's pretty nice, but I wouldn't put popcorn in here because it's like metal. I don't know. I don't know if
It'd
it's.
be pretty cool if you stuck one of the Playmates figures inside.
Oh, maybe. Which ones?
Well, I mean, you're holding Scar King's tin, so...
All of them look pretty much the same.
Yeah. So everything I think is the same. Oh, the numbers are different. So here you can see.
Oh, you can see their official heights, by the way.
Oh.
So Scar King is quite short, not to height shame him.
He is 300. Oh, that's kind of glary. 318 feet. Next one is Kong, which is 337. It's not that much different.
Scar King's definitely shorter.
Shorter, but not by much, relatively speaking.
How much are they?
$10 each.
Yeah, it's worth it. If you like Godzilla and Kong.
Show them the stuffies of Kong and Zuko. Only Kong and Zuko. They have Godzilla too, but all the Cineplexes I've been to, no Godzilla. I guess he's very popular.
They're really close in size, and that's not accurate in the movie, I'm pretty sure.
Stuffies, what do you expect?
I expected this one to be like much bigger.
Next up, from Cineplex, this one I am very excited to unveil. We have the official Cineplex Cup.
It's a very smooth feel. I don't know what they want me to say.
Who's on the cup?
Yes. Godzilla, Shimo, except Shimo should probably be blue, and Godzilla should be a
Yeah, I feel
different
like they
color.
reversed
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if Godzilla's pink. Godzilla should be pink here. Scar King is good color, and then orange, yellowish for Kong.
So now, on top of those cups, there are toppers that goes on the lid. And I managed to buy all three of them. No Shimo. They only have Scar King, Kong, and Godzilla. So our first one here is Kong. With no base plate. Hold on. So actually, let's look at a different one first. See, this is not a base plate.
Wait, you lost it, or
No,
it doesn't?
wasn't included.
Oh, shouldn't it be? It's supposed to be, or?
Scar King. Let's look at Scar King first.
All right, Scar King first. Live unboxing, kind of.
Yes. Open it.
So this base plate and the figure.
So it looks like he's just holding the whip. It's not wrapped around his body.
Yeah, kind of looks like he's taking a dump. Yeah. So I guess what you do is this space plate. There's 2 holes in his feet. You just stick it in like this, and then like that, and it looks like
Taking a dump on the cup.
right into your drink. So that's great.
Alright.
Would you drink this?
No.
Okay, yeah, we can just use this base plate for Kong.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you know why that one? I think it just accidentally opened.
No, because Dare bought 2. I have the other Kong upstairs. He also doesn't have the base
Oh,
plate,
really?
so, yeah.
That's weird. Okay, well, this one doesn't have a base plate for some reason, but yeah. He's beating his chest, doing his battle cry. What do you think, Santos? Oh. So for some reason.
Oh, maybe that's why they don't have the lid. Because he doesn't even fit on the cup.
So yeah, for some reason, it looks like they designed it so that it doesn't fit on the cup, which is really strange.
Maybe that's why it doesn't have a base.
He kind of fits. You can stick one leg, and it's like, it's okay. Like, it's stable enough for you to drink off of it. It won't fall off or anything. So it's usable, but it's kind of wobbly. Like, yeah, like that. It's only stable if you're keeping the cup stable.
Also, I want to point out his eyes. He's seeing some stuff.
He looks traumatized.
He saw Scar King take a dump.
Alright, what's the last one?
Godzilla.
When did he become Japanese? Okay, this I think might be the... No, wait, it could be the base plate for Kong because he has a wider stance too.
Take a look. I don't know.
See.
It's my first time looking at it too.
We will see. I can open this. So yeah, this base plate's a bit wider. It gives like a wider stance. So we'll just stick. Okay, it's very tricky to get him on for some reason.
He's also the most popular. From what I've seen, everyone wants the Godzilla the most when they buy these cups.
So it looks like on the cup.
And I can see why. He does look pretty sick.
Now this one looks the coolest. Scar King's taking a dump, and Kong is traumatized. So this is the only figure that's decent. It's the only figure that.
Does Kong fit?
Oh yeah, we'll test that. See if Kong fits Godzilla on Godzilla's thing. No, it does not.
So we got that theory busted.
Yeah, so Kong's stance is even wider. It's not going to fit.
The way you word it like that.
Yeah, he has a wider stance. I don't know, you think he's more flexible?
So, I don't normally collect these cups in general. The last time I got it, the one I tried to get last time was Aquaman's. And then I tried to get a Dune popcorn bucket for the meme, but that's been sold out. Do you think this is a worthy theater merch?
I think it's kind of cool. Especially if the cups are just $10, it's not bad. Right?
Yeah, well, exactly. When you get the drinks and you replace the cups, yeah, you just pay an extra fee. That's
Yeah.
it.
So not too bad. Is it $10 drink included?
So, obviously, if you buy each top with the cup, that's super expensive. That's why I just got one cup and then all the toppings. So what was your favorite then from the 3 of them? No Shimo, of course. But from the 3 of them.
Scar King.
Yeah.
No,
Scar
just...
King looks so happy he's taking a dump.
No.
It looks like he's enjoying it. Look at his face. But
Yeah.
yes, so what would you say?
Unironic? No, actually, this one looks the coolest, but this one's the funniest. I will say that. But this one, I like it because it does fit. His stance fits with the cup, because it won't go over. This one will go over the cup, so it doesn't look as smooth.
I can see why Godzilla was the most popular one.
Yeah, no one wanted to drink a drink while looking at his behind.
We have the Cineplex cup, but we also have the Circle K cup, which of course we tried the Slurpees earlier in my main channel, in the video on my main channel. So the idea is, if you want to get the Slurpee in this cup, you can, but obviously we just got into the regular cups. So I bought the cups separately at a different time.
Looks good for its price.
It was $2.50.
I agree. Including Slurpee or no?
Just the cup, no Slurpee inside.
And plus a couple dollars for the Slurpee, probably.
Circle K or Cineplex?
Cineplex.
Yes, I agree.
Alright.
Also more expensive.
Last, but definitely not the least, we have the Jada Toys. And they have absolutely cooked with this movie, despite only making 2 products. So, first up, we have the die-cast figures. They have also done Transformers figures, but I've never gotten them. Couldn't find them. But these are the Godzilla X ones. Inspect each of them.
Okay, so the first thing I noticed is that they're really heavy.
Samzo's, you're an expert on these die-cast figures. What do you think?
Yeah, it feels high quality. The paint is good.
Stop. Say that again.
The quality is good. The material is very. You can actually articulate, right? No, you can't.
No.
Alright.
So you can buy them individually, but I bought the 4-pack just to get it over with and get them all at once.
Yeah, the paint job is good. I don't know what Brandon's doing, but
Okay. Alright, let's look at them one by one. Starting with Colin.
Okay.
Well, I also noticed they are all very heavy. Might be better quality too. He looks very angry. Like he's about to beat someone up.
I think he is about to beat someone up.
Yeah. This guy.
Alright, go G-Man.
Okay, so it's pretty nice. Yeah, their eye, I don't know, something about their eyes feels off, but overall it's not bad. They have like the same eyes as Kong and Godzilla. Okay. Next is Scar King. His arms are flimsier. You can kind of, I don't know if you're supposed to move them, but you can like shift them slightly. They feel more rubbery. His whip is there. It's not detachable, of course, but the whip feels very... What do you think of his eyes?
oh yeah, they look kind of looks like he's been fasting.
he looks tired. I don't know if you want to show closer to the camera, but his eyes look very funny.
Okay.
Like yeah.
Last.
This one, Shimo. I forgot. I keep mixing up names. Why is she doing the Godzilla pose? She just looks like a Godzilla, but
So, the very first leak of Shimo is that. That's
Really?
how everyone found out about her, was through this figure.
it just looks like white Godzilla. But in the movie, she's less Godzilla-y and more like all on all fours.
I don't think she stood up on 2 legs once.
Yeah, so she never did this pose, so I guess it's kind of misleading. But she's more like, yeah, 4-legged versus Godzilla is 2-legged. Okay.
Alright, last, but definitely not the least. The crown jewel of all the stuff I bought for this movie. This was the craziest purchase yet. Never mind, just manually adjust them.
Right. Right.
So, what do we think?
You want to do the breath again?
I feel they should do one on Shimo.
Yes. That's the next thing they should do, yeah.
Good humidifier.
This is the most expensive pie ever.
This thing is $150.
Whoa. That's actually not too bad considering what it can do.
but I had a supplier that was able to get it. Anyways, this has a top. You open this up, and then you take out those tube things, and you can squeeze water in. That's how you can shoot the smoke.
I see.
So what do you think of this figure? This is definitely I would say from all the stuff I have from this movie, this is definitely the best thing I've got. Also, you feel free to play around with it.
10 out of 10. Well, I've given 9.5 because it looks like a N64 controller. But not saying N64 controllers are bad, but
Resembles it too much. I also say, the keys are rattly. The controller is not the best quality. Little plastic key.
The whole point of the controller is to control this thing.
Yeah, but like, yeah. So, yeah.
What do you think of its playability?
It's pretty fun. And then also the other trigger does that. So yeah, one trigger for the roar, one trigger for the attack. And then one button to move forward, and then one side to side. Which I guess we don't have much space to move him anymore.
since this is 150, there could be some paint that could go on the figure, but I know there is. But I meant like on the fins, probably.
I mean, yeah, it could look a bit more premium, but it's already pretty cool.
Alright, let's conclude this episode. I am not in frame, hold on. This movie was an absolute blast, I would say. From the beginning, where the first trailer was announced in December, the hype for it began, and then we're here at the finish line with the movie's release. So I guess the next step is, of course, waiting for the movie's digital release, which, based on previous movie release patterns, I would assume will come in the summer, maybe like May or June, somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure by the time Deadpool and Wolverine releases, this movie would have been completed and we've gotten the digital, hopefully. Because I do think I might take a page out of New Rockstars and do a scene breakdown. Obviously, we're not going to do it here. This episode's long enough already. So, that being said, I spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of consumption of content for this movie. I'm glad it did really well. I just wish it appealed to the critics, but it is what it is. Critics can be critics. That being said, does that mean I've reached my retirement point again? Because obviously after Godzilla vs. Kong came out, I disconnected myself from the Monsterverse and did Funko Pop videos. Am I going to do the same pattern here? I mean, how much stuff can they make for this movie? Seriously, look at this table. This is like a lot. I don't know how much more I can take. But I think I will occasionally, every once in a while, come back to the Monsterverse. Seems like a lot of people watching my channel wants to see this kind of stuff. So, also, there is more merch coming. There's an entire new wave of Playmates Toys coming for this movie, including the giant Shimo. Speaking of Shimo, there's also the SH Monster Arts one coming. Or, sorry, no, not SH Monster Arts. It's from Jada Toys. So, yeah, from there. I might do that one. We'll see. Apart from now, any final words as we wrap up basically the train, as we are about to get off the train of this movie? Wait. Before we end it, one more thing. Rank all the Monsterverse movies, including this one.
I didn't even see all of them, though. I didn't see the first.
You saw the major fights.
That I can't rank them.
Alright, I guess this is applicable to Santos then.
Godzilla vs. Kong is the best. I'm going for best to worst.
Okay.
This movie, the first Godzilla, and then King of the Monsters.
Let's go on.
Oh, in between, like, third place.
So it's Godzilla vs. Kong, New Empire, and then Kong Skull Island, and then 2014 Godzilla, King of Monsters. Okay, Brandon, you've seen King of Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong. You can rank 3 at least.
Okay, Godzilla versus Kong, then this one. No, wait. Yeah, sure. Godzilla versus Kong and Godzilla X Kong are pretty close. So I say tie for first, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters is third.
There you go. I think for me will be, yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong, this movie, New Empire. I'd say 2014 Godzilla, and then Skull Island, King of Monsters. I would honestly like King of Monsters more had they completely scrapped the divorced parents human drama, and we actually got more of monsters fighting. Then I would maybe put that movie a lot higher up. But that being said, I feel like the MonsterVerse will continue because of this movie's success. I think Warner Brothers looked at it and they're like, we're going to continue this. What do you think they should do next? Or should Adam Wingard do a third movie, complete the trilogy?
I agree. There's too many loose ends in this film, so I think they gotta tie that up.
All right. Well, hey, if anyone from Warner Bros. Is listening, I don't mind being hired as a writer. Just saying. I spoke to some of my friends the other day. We have some pretty sick ideas on, number one, how to fix some of the tweaks in this movie, and writing the next one. But that's a story for another time. We are officially done. We're at the end. I'm going on vacation after this, and that will basically be an official break for this show. Obviously, we'll have more episodes coming afterwards, but after this episode comes out, I am in a desperate need of a vacation, so I need some time to not think about this kind of stuff. As for now, looks like the MonsterVerse's future is bright. As long as you just ignore the critics, it looks like this franchise is definitely one of Warner Brothers' strongest franchise. Ironic how they have this and also DC, which is the complete opposite of the MonsterVerse in terms of success. So, a bright future. Long live the MonsterVerse. Thanks for watching this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like, subscribe, and Santos may be able to bless you with a Transformers toy for every lucky 1,000 winners. I'm just waffling. Alright, Godzilla will outro the episode. We'll see you in the next one.